Hi, I'm Bob Scrivano, the CEO and founder of Assets and Aging, helping families find the solutions to the issues of aging for over 30 years. I'm not an attorney, I don't practice law, I don't give legal advice, but I am here with an attorney, and I'm proud to introduce him. Gary?
Hi, I'm Gary Lieberman. I'm an elder law attorney. I've been in the private practice of law for 33 years. The main emphasis of my practice is estate planning, asset protection planning for seniors and their families.
We're going to talk for the next couple minutes about the home. For most people, the home is the single largest asset they have. It's the asset they care the most about. It's where memories were built. It's where they raised their children. It's where they grew old together. And as part of talking about the home, I want to tell a little story. And this is a very common story. It happens every day. It has happened thousands of times in my life and thousands of times in Gary's life. Mom and Dad, been married a long time, happy, everything is fine, and everybody begins to notice that Dad begins to forget things. He can't quite remember what he had for breakfast, then he can't remember a little more, and then he can't remember the grandchildren, and then he can't remember the children, and he can't remember the dog's name, and he doesn't remember where they live. And pretty soon he forgets Mom. And as time goes on, Mom is just not able to take care of him anymore. And it might not have happened over a long period of time. It might happen suddenly. It could be a stroke, and it's instantaneous. And all of a sudden, Dad's in a nursing home. And he's in a nursing home because Mom can't take care of him. It's $8,000 to $9,000 to $10,000 a month. It's expensive, and they can't figure out how to pay for it, so they're looking at Medi-Cal. And Medi-Cal pays the bill, and everybody's happy. And Dad's in a nursing home for 2, 3, 4 years, maybe longer, and Dad finally dies in the nursing home. And about 2, 3, 4 months later, Gary, Mom gets a little letter in the mail from the Department of Health Services, and it's only 7 questions long. It's one piece of paper, and it's only 7 questions long, and Mom fills out the questions and mails it back. And what has Mom just done?
Well, that's from Medi-Cal. The Department of Health Services is Medi-Cal. What Mom has just done is she has initiated an estate recovery claim whereby Medi-Cal will seek out and attempt to recover all the money that they paid for Dad's care.
Now, they can't do that as long as Mom's alive, right?
That's correct.
But when Mom's gone, then they can.
Absolutely. They have a right to a lien or a claim against any asset.
And the reason they can do that is a regulation. And it's a regulation found in Title 22 of the California Code of Regulations. And the California Code of Regulations are what?
That's the law of the state of California.
Okay, Title 22 is Social Security. It's also where health stuff is and where Medi-Cal is. And I want to read a regulation. It's Title 22, California Code of Regulations, Section 50961. And here's what it says, little a. The department, who's the department?
The department is Medi-Cal.
Shall. What does shall mean?
Shall means they must. They're mandated to do this.
The department shall claim against the estate of a decedent. Who's that?
That's Dad in our example.
Or, and this is where it gets really interesting, right?
Right.
Or against any recipient of the decedent's property by distribution or survival. Who's that?
That's Dad's heirs, which in our example would be the children.
Now, one other thing, this said that the state can recover against Dad's estate.
That's right.
Now, we got to find what's an estate. Now, if I look at the same Title 22, California Code of Regulations, a different section this time, Section 50960.12, it defines estate. And one of the things it says is estate means living trusts. Now, Mom and Dad had a living trust. They were told that if they had a living trust, there wouldn't be any probate, that everything would be protected. But what have they just found out? And more importantly, what have their heirs just found out about the living trust?
Well, they've found out that a living trust does not protect their assets from a Medi-Cal estate claim, simply because if they have the right to revoke the trust, in the eyes of Medi-Cal, it belongs to them.
So even though the kids are named as the heirs and all that kind of stuff, the state will come after the heir.
Absolutely. And again, the state is mandated to do this.
What happens if Mom and Dad die and the assets go to the heirs and the heirs spend it all? What happens?
Well, they have a right, as I mentioned earlier, to a claim, a lien against any assets, and they can go back against the children to get their money back, plus 7% interest.
What about wills? People have wills. My will says when my mom and dad and I are dead, everything goes to the kids. Does a will help protect against this?
Absolutely not.
Why is that?
Because a will does not take effect until they're dead. And in our example, the estate claim has already been accrued before dad died.
But in fact, the regulation says anything dad owned at the time of death, the state has the right to claim against.
That's correct.
What about powers of attorney? Do powers of attorney have anything to do with this? Do they help protect anything?
No, they don't. A power of attorney only deals with assets while he's alive, while dad's alive.
Every year, 500,000 families in the United States are rendered impoverished by the cost of long-term care. It's important that means they lose their home, they lose their assets, they've lost everything. In future segments, we're going to talk about how to protect the home and how to protect assets. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you being a part of this. Make sure you listen to the other segments that you're going to find right here on this website. Also know that if you have other questions, you're welcome to come in and sit down and talk to us. We offer a free consultation. You can do that anytime. Simply call the number on your screen and we'd be happy to talk to you. Look forward to seeing you in our other segments.